Hey, T sippers. Hey, hey, hey. I'm not gonna stall because I gotta be out by midnight. Oh, my goodness. Let me clear all of that. Let me start with this. I like the anonymous. Let me hear them. Let me hear them before I go off into Candace. And if there is time left over, I will run into the updates. I don't want to run out. Let's go. Come on, come on, come on.
We are anonymous. If you have ever wanted to watch Donald Trump get hit exactly where it hurts most his ego, then this moment is a case study in humiliation by institution. Not a
Let's
political
go.
rival, not a viral clip, not a heckler, an institution. Two of them, in fact. One at home, one on the world stage.
Let's
And
go.
both of them are sending the same message in two different languages. You cannot force yourself into places that do not want you, and you cannot steal legitimacy by grabbing symbols you did not earn. First, the domestic
Ah!
blow. The Kennedy Center, a cultural landmark that has always represented something bigger
You
than
can't
any one
get by the
politician.
symbols.
It is supposed to be a national stage for excellence, not a billboard for a man who measures everything by brand value and personal worship. Yet under Trump's takeover style, the Kennedy Center becomes another vanity project, another attempt to stamp his name on a prestigious institution as if the name itself is proof of greatness. The problem for Trump is that real cultural institutions are not like his business ventures. You cannot slap your logo on the building and expect respect to follow.
Just
Respect is
stealing.
earned, and when it is not earned, what follows is retreat. That is why the Martha Graham Dance Company choosing to withdraw matters. This is not a random small act. This is a major modern dance company, part of American artistic history, saying it will not perform at the Kennedy Center during its centennial tour. Martha Graham Dance Company won't celebrate centennial at Kennedy Center. The Martha Graham Dance Company said on Friday that it would not perform at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts this spring as part of the troupe's centennial tour across the United States. The Martha Graham Dance Company regrets that we are unable to perform at the Kennedy Center in April. It said in a statement, "We hope to perform at the center in the future." Their statement was polite.
It was polite. They don't want to fool with him. They don't want to party where he party at.
They said they regret they cannot perform there in April. They said they hope to return in the future. They did not need to insult Trump directly. They did not need to
Isn't that
scream. The
beautiful?
withdrawal itself is the message. The company did not give a reason for the withdrawal, but several artists and groups have pulled out.
They didn't have
But
to say.
several art
They didn't have to
reason
say
for
he
the
was
withdrawal, but several art
shitty and
they did not
stinky.
need to scream. They said they hope to return in the future. They did not need to insult Trump directly. They did not need to scream. The withdrawal itself is the message. The company did not give a reason for the withdrawal, but several artists and groups have pulled out of Kennedy Center events since its board of trustees voted last month to add President Trump's name to the building. It says the environment is no
Bad
longer
move.
dignified. It says the institution is being dragged into politics and branding. It says Trump's presence changes the meaning of the place, and the withdrawal does
Absolutely.
not exist in isolation. Multiple artists and groups have been pulling out of Kennedy Center events after the board's decision to attach Trump's name to the building. This is how institutions reject someone who tries to muscle in. They do not always fight publicly. They simply refuse to participate. They step away. They stop lending their credibility to the spectacle. That is death for someone like Trump,
And folks
because he
need to stop
survives by
donating.
absorbing the credibility of others. He
Stop
wants
sponsoring.
institutions to legitimize him. When they refuse, it exposes the emptiness. The reporting around this story includes details that make the situation.
And it also proves he ain't got no money. If he wanted that bad, pay for it yourself. Or you gonna say that's not how it go with it. If you want it as bad as you want it, you will. Yeah.
Refuse, it exposes the emptiness. The reporting around this story includes details that make the situation even more revealing. The Kennedy Center has been pressured toward programming described. The Kennedy Center regularly hosts major touring companies like American Ballet Theater and New York City Ballet, and it has a history of staging modern and contemporary troupes.
In August, it named Stephen Nakagawa, a former dancer with the Washington Ballet, as its director of dance and programming after dismissing the previous leadership.
As more broadly appealing, with a reality TV example floating around in the discussion.
Some of the fired employees said that Richard Grinnell, the center's president, had told them to come up with programming he considered more broadly appealing, citing the TV show So You Think You Can Dance.
That is Trump's worldview in a single move. He does not see art as cultural heritage. He sees it as content. He sees it as ratings. He sees it as a product that must flatter the widest audience and avoid anything he considers challenging. He comes from a reality TV paradigm, and he tries to flatten everything into that shape. A national performance arts institution becomes, in his mind, another stage for mass appeal and brand control. That is the first humiliation. Trump forces himself upon a cultural institution, and the people who make culture for a living quietly start walking away. He can claim ownership of a building name, but he cannot force artists to show up and smile. He cannot force excellence to endorse him. He can demand applause, but he cannot manufacture authenticity. Now the second humiliation lands, and this one goes global. The Nobel Peace Prize world. This is where Trump's insecurity becomes almost comical, because the Nobel Peace Prize is exactly the kind of validation he is obsessed over. He wants the image of being a historic peacemaker without doing the work of being one. He wants the global stamp of approval without the humility, patience, and restraint that the idea implies. The spark was the medal transfer. Nobel Peace Prize laureate Maria Corina Machado met with Trump and gave him her Nobel Peace Prize medal. Not the prize itself, not the status of being a laureate, but the physical medal, a symbol tied to a recognition. Trump and his allies treated it like a prize being handed to him.
Ain't used to
Trump
nothing.
posted about it as if it was proof that the world is finally acknowledging his greatness. He framed it as a gesture of mutual respect and recognition for his work.
Nope.
He did what he always does. He grabbed the symbol and tried to claim the meaning, and the world had to correct him because this is not a participation trophy. The Norwegian Nobel Committee issued a statement with a title that is basically a slap across Trump's face. The Nobel Prize and the laureate are inseparable.
The Nobel Prize and the laureate are inseparable. The medal and the diploma are the physical symbols confirming that an individual or organization has been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize.
You've been
Inseparable.
denied.
That word is the cage Trump cannot escape. It means you cannot pass the Nobel Prize around like a prop. The medal and diploma are physical symbols confirming that the individual or organization
One
has been awarded
ain't
the
shit without the
Nobel.
other.
That word is the cage Trump cannot escape. It means you cannot pass the Nobel Prize around like a prop. The medal and diploma are physical symbols confirming
So you went
that
over
the
there messing with
individual
that
or
man for
organization
nothing. Oh
has
yeah, I
been
forgot
awarded
you
the
got the
Nobel Peace Prize, but the honor and recognition remain linked to the laureate. The laureate cannot share the prize with others and cannot transfer it once it has been announced. The Nobel Peace Prize cannot be revoked. The decision is final and applies for all time. This is the Nobel world doing something Trump cannot tolerate. The decision is final
Saying
and
no.
applies for all time. This is the
Your
Nobel
tricks
world
do not work.
prize with others and cannot transfer it once it has been announced.
The answer
Nobel Peace
is no.
Prize cannot be revoked. The decision is final and applies for all time. This is the Nobel world doing something Trump cannot tolerate. They are calmly stating rules that do not bend for him. They are saying you cannot buy this, you cannot brand this, you cannot bully this, you cannot hold someone else's medal and pretend you are a Nobel figure. You can clutch the hardware, but you cannot steal the history. Then they did something even more humiliating. They said they do not engage in day-to-day commentary on laureates or political processes. And then they added a historical example anyway. Not a random example, not an innocent anecdote. A dagger. They cited a case involving Knut Hamsun, a Nobel Literature Prize winner from 1920.
Two people in history have gotten secondhand Nobel Peace Prizes that didn't win. The first was Joseph Goebbels in 1943.
In 1943, Hamsun traveled to Germany and met with Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels. After returning to Norway, Hamsun sent his Nobel medal to Goebbels as a gesture of thanks for the meeting. Goebbels was honored by the gift. The statement notes the present whereabouts of that medal are unknown. That single paragraph is why Trump becomes a global punchline, because it places Trump's situation in the shadow of a notorious historical moment where a Nobel medal was gifted as a political gesture to a figure associated with Nazi propaganda. The statement does not need to call Trump anything directly. It does not need to accuse him of being the same as anyone. It simply puts the history on the table. It says we have seen this before. We have seen Nobel medals turned into political theater. We We have seen people try to use our symbols as currency for access and praise, and history remembers what that looks like. Trump's ego cannot handle that kind of framing because he lives on flattering narratives. He needs institutions to treat him with special reverence. The Nobel statement does the opposite. It strips away his fantasy with legal clarity. Then it adds a historical reference that makes the entire episode permanently embarrassing. Trump can scream about fake news. He cannot erase a statement issued by the Nobel world itself. He cannot spin away a historical comparison that the public will now repeat. He cannot force the world to treat his obsession as noble when it looks like desperation. Now connect the two humiliations. The Kennedy Center story and the Nobel statement story are not separate. They are the same pattern playing out in different arenas. Trump tries to force himself into institutions that symbolize prestige, culture at home, moral recognition abroad. He does it through branding control and entitlement. He assumes his title gives him ownership over everything. He assumes he can take and still be celebrated. But institutions do not work. That way, not when they still have any integrity left. At the Kennedy Center, the rejection looks like absence. Artists withdraw.
Rejected.
Companies
Hey,
step
Dorothy.
away.
As an example,
It's so
Denied.
easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. First, go to Riverside.
It look
and
like a
open an
denial.
account. When you're ready.
It looks like denied. Reject.
in a letter to Grinnell that Nakagawa wrote before his hiring, he said he was distressed by the rise of woke culture at the Washington Ballet and other companies. He wrote that he wanted to end the dominance of leftist ideologies in the arts and return to classical ballet's purity and timeless beauty.
The building may still stand, but the soul of the place refuses to be rented out. At the Nobel world, the rejection looks like language, a formal statement that locks the prize to the laureate and denies Trump the fantasy he is trying to manufacture. Then the rejection sharpens into something else, a historical example so heavy that it forces the world to see Trump's medal moment as a cringe act of political theater. And that is why this cuts Trump so deeply. Trump's power is built on forcing attention. He wants to be everywhere. He wants his name everywhere. He wants institutions to become extensions of him. When institutions refuse, it reveals his weakness. It reveals that he is not desired. He is not welcomed. He is tolerated at best and rejected at worst. He can crash the gates, but he cannot force genuine acceptance.
The prize itself, the honor and recognition, remains inseparably linked to the person or organization designated as the
We
laureate
don't
by
want
the
you. You're not
Norwegian
gonna
Nobel
force yourself
Committee.
on me.
A laureate cannot share the prize with others, nor transfer it once it has been announced.
See, now I kind of understand all this force. You know, he been doing it a while, forcing himself on people in every which way you can think of it imaginable. It's always a force, never a welcome. Always a force. Yeah, you don't know how it feels what you do to for somebody to stand by how they really feel. Hey, Specs, and say no, I don't want you, and you're not gonna force yourself on me, and you're not gonna make yourself a winner of a Nobel Peace Prize. You're not of peace. Ain't no peace in you. Yeah, and all these forced and fake nominations. No, we ain't going. The answer is no. You don't know how to accept that. Yeah, well, grow up. Put your big boy your pamper on. Let's go. Let's go.
Recognition remains inseparably linked to the person or
Have mercy.
organization
Thank you, Specs.
designated as the laureate by the Norwegian Nobel Committee. A laureate cannot share the prize with others, nor transfer it once it has been announced. A Nobel Peace Prize can also never be revoked. The decision is final and applies for all time. The Norwegian Nobel Committee does not see it as their role to engage in day-to-day commentary on Peace Prize laureates or the political processes that they are engaged in. The prize is awarded on the basis of the laureate's contributions by the time that the committee's decision is taken.
This is also why the Nobel Committee's refusal matters beyond one headline. Trump has spent years trying to position himself as an international figure of peace, even while his politics revolve around conflict, vengeance, and division. He wants the world to reward. The Nobel Committee's refusal matters beyond one headline. Trump has spent years trying to position himself as an international figure of peace, even while his politics revolve around conflict, vengeance, and division. He wants the world to reward him for being loud. But the Nobel world operates on a different kind of authority. It is not impressed by branding. It is not impressed by tantrums. It is not impressed by a man holding someone else's medal. Their statement makes it clear that the prize belongs to the laureate forever and the medal is just a symbol. The honor does not move. The legitimacy does not transfer. The recognition does not bend. So Trump is left with the one thing he always ends up with when he chases these symbols. He is left with optics that backfire. The medal becomes proof of his desperation, not his greatness. The Kennedy Center becomes a stage where people refuse to perform, not a stage where he is celebrated. He wanted dominance, but he created rejection. He wanted a legacy, but he created a boycott. He wanted a Nobel aura, but he triggered a statement that reminded the world he is not part of that story. And that is the punchline. Trump is not being made into a global punchline by his enemies alone. He is being made into a punchline by his own hunger. His need to force himself into places that do not want him. His need to grab symbols he did not earn. His need to be seen as historic without doing anything worthy of history. We are anonymous. This is what happens when a man with an insatiable ego collides with institutions that do not care about him. He can stamp his name on a building and artists still walk away. He can hold a medal and the Nobel world still tells him no. He can posture for the camera, but he cannot force meaning to obey him.
This is the Infinity Waterproof Eyeliner by Thrive Cosmetics.
Hold on. Before we go over there, I got one more quick one. One more good juicy. You want a juicy? Y'all hit the like button, please. The 3 dots at the top or the thumbs up. If you're on your phone, double tap. Let's go. Let's go.
This morning at 9 a.m., everything changed for the defendant. While the cameras were focused on the front steps of the courthouse, the real action, the action that actually matters. This morning at 9 a.m., everything changed for the defendant. While the cameras were focused on the front steps of the courthouse, the real action, the action that actually matters, was happening inside the back offices of 3 major banks. We aren't talking about
The
politics
banks?
today. We aren't talking about what someone posted on social media. We are talking about cold, hard cash. I have spent 30 years catching criminals who thought they could hide their money. I have tracked assets from New York to Switzerland. And I know one thing for sure. Banks do not care about votes. They do not care about rallies. They care about risk. And when a bank sees a client, even a famous one, who owes more money than he has in the bank, they don't ask for permission. They lock the doors. I'm going to walk you through exactly what freezing an account means, why the word bankruptcy is suddenly being whispered in legal hallways, and what happens when a billionaire suddenly cannot pay his bills. I have prosecuted powerful people before. They act tough, they act rich, they wear expensive suits, but the moment their credit card gets declined, the show is over. The defense has spent years telling us they have unlimited money. They projected an image of total strength. But today, the bank records tell a very different story. I will be covering this every day, following the money, not the noise. If you want the truth without the spin, subscribe. Now, let me show you why the banks are panicking. Before we use scary words like bankruptcy, let us keep it simple. In the real world, we call this a cash crunch. Think about your own budget. You have bills to pay, and you have money in the bank. As long as the money in the bank is higher than the bills, you are fine. But right now, the defense is fighting battles all over the country. Lawyers cost millions of dollars. Bonds cost millions of dollars. Expert witnesses cost thousands of dollars an hour. Usually, a wealthy businessman pays for all of this out of his operating cash. It is like checking your wallet. But the new...
Hey, y'all, hit the like button for me, please. Double tap if you're on your phone. Double tap the face of your phone. I hit the 3 dots at the top. I'll wait. I'm watching with my good eye. Double tap for me. Come on. 197 people in here, 27 likes. That won't work. The math that ain't mathing. Even if you in the class just listening in, please hit the three dots at the top or double tap the face of your phone. Okay, please keep double tapping, hitting the like button. I hate to have to keep stopping. Let's go.
Then subscribe. Now, let me show you why the banks are panicking. Before we use scary words like bankruptcy, let us keep it simple. In the real world, we call this a cash crunch. Think about your own budget. You have bills to pay and you have money in the bank. As long as the money in the bank is higher than the bills, you are fine. But right now, the defense is fighting battles all over the country. Lawyers cost millions of dollars. Bonds cost millions of dollars. Expert witnesses cost thousands of dollars an hour. Usually, a wealthy businessman pays for all of this out of his operating cash. It is like checking your wallet. But the new reports say that cash is not there. Or if it is, he cannot touch it. Here's the timeline, and it is very important
Can't touch that.
to understand this order of events. 2 days ago,
Can't
his
touch
legal
that.
team went to court and admitted they could not secure a bond. They basically said, we do not have the cash ready. Yesterday, we learned that a major bank put a hold on his business accounts. Now, what is a hold? A hold is not a political statement. The bank manager did not wake up and decide to be mean. It is what banks do when their computer systems flag a high risk. They are scared, they will not get paid back. They see the lawsuits, they see the judgments, and they say, stop the money until we figure this out. When I look at this, I do not see a strong business empire. I see a house of cards shaking. The prosecution knows it, the courts know it, and the banks definitely know it. They say he is worth billions, but you do not ask for extra time to pay a bill if you have a vault full of gold. That is just a fact. You pay it and move on. The fact that they are
Yes,
fighting over the bill
Dante,
tells
it's
me the
pinned at the
vault
top.
might be empty. This is what we call the
Dante
squeeze.
is
It is a
pinned
simple
at the
trap.
top.
If you cannot pay the lawyers stop working. If the lawyers stop working, you lose the case. It is that simple. The money is the fuel for the car. If the gas runs out, the car stops, no matter who is driving. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Jack, he has been in debt before. He always wiggles out of it. He is famous for debt. That is a fair question. I hear you. But this time is different, and here is why.
Tell us.
There is a rule in the law called piercing the veil. Let me explain that in plain English, because lawyers like to make it sound complicated. Normally, your personal money and your business money are two different buckets. Bucket A is your business. Bucket B is your personal home and savings. If the business fails, bucket B is safe. Nobody can take your house to pay for the business mistakes. That is the normal rule. But there is a catch. If a judge decides you are mixing that money up, taking cash from the business to pay for personal problems, or moving money around to hide it, the judge can smash those buckets together. Why does this matter right now? Because the banks are looking at the accounts and freezing everything. They are treating his business and his personal money as one big pile of debt. They are worried that if they leave one account open, he will drain it to pay someone else. So they lock it all down. This brings us to the B word, bankruptcy. If the court forces him into what we call involuntary bankruptcy, he loses control. Right now, he decides what checks to sign. But in bankruptcy, a trustee takes over. Think about that for a second. A court official,
He
basically a
very
government
familiar with
accountant, would
bankruptcy.
sit at his desk. They would decide what bills get paid. They would decide if the private jet is allowed to fly or if it has to be sold. They would decide if the lawyers get a check this month. It is total loss of control. And for a man who prides himself on being in charge, that is the ultimate nightmare. By fighting so hard and hiding his financial records for so long, the defense might have trapped themselves. They tried to play games with the
Yep.
numbers, they tried to hide the money, and the banks responded by locking the accounts to protect themselves. It is a nightmare scenario. When I chase bad guys, I wait for the moment they lose control of their own checkbook. That is when the walls close. You can yell at a judge, you can yell at a prosecutor, but you cannot.
He said he played duck, duck, goose, goose. And he wait in the cut until you corner, and then I pop out and say, "How you like me now?"
Scenario. When I chase bad guys, I wait for the moment they lose control of their own checkbook. That is when the walls
Oh,
close.
wow.
You can yell at a judge, you can yell at a prosecutor, but you cannot yell at a math problem. Let me know in the comments. Do you think the banks are right to freeze his money to protect themselves, or
Heck
is this
yeah.
unfair? I want to know what you think. This is not politics, this is just math, and the math is looking bad. So what does this mean for him right now? Today, it means if he cannot access his accounts, he cannot post bond. A bond is just a promise to pay, but the court does not take IOUs. They want cash or property. If he cannot post bond, the sheriff can start taking property. We are talking about real things, not ideas, physical things, buildings, golf courses, houses. Let us be real for a second. If you or I owed $1 million and tried to hide it,
He
the
not
bank would
playing.
not wait.
He
They would
don't-
not
you
give
right,
us 30
Dorothy.
days. They would not let us go on TV and complain. They would take the house, they would take the car. We are watching to see if the system treats him like it treats us. That is the real test here. Is the law the same for everyone? Today, the bank said enough. They froze the accounts not because they hate him, but because they love their own money. They want to make sure
Absolutely.
there's something left to take when the trial is over. It feels slow. I know. I read your comments. You are frustrated. You want to see justice happening fast. But follow the money. The money always tells the truth. People lie. Money does not. The banks did the math today, and the math says he is in trouble. Imagine you are running a business. You have vendors to pay, you have staff to pay, and suddenly the bank says, account frozen, you cannot buy paper, you cannot pay the electric bill, everything stops. That is what is happening to the defense team right now. They are looking at their screens and seeing red zeros. As we move forward, watch for a specific legal paper called a lien. A lien is like a sticky note on a house that says, this belongs to the bank. That is when the government officially puts a claim on a building.
This is not yours. Yeah, give me that. Give me. It's saying, give me that. No, that's not. No. Take them TRUMP off of that. That's mine, baby. That is not yours. Your lies have caught up with you. No, give me that. Let's go.
Watch for a specific legal paper called a lien. A lien is
A
like a sticky
lien?
note on a house that says, this belongs.
Oh, are we saying like lean on me? Like lean on me when I'm real broke. Like, can I like loan? Like lean on a loan? Or like lean, like you, like that belongs to me. Like give me that. Like give me that or lean loan. Woo! Can you garnish his a presidential check? Can you garnish that? Can you say give me that? Give me that. Yeah, you working and you doing out. Give me that. And so because we know he broke, he should be off limits to the treasury. You understand? That's a thief. You already know he'll crook and a lie. Yeah, no. Come on now. Access to these folk in the treasury. He done lined it up with all of his, prior little babies that done grew up. That's conditioned now. Stockholm
Electric
syndrome.
bill, everything stops. That is what is happening to the defense team right
Yeah,
now.
lean
They
on
are
me.
looking at their screens and seeing red zeros. As we move forward, watch for a
Red
specific legal
zeros?
paper called
Red
cannot post
zeros.
bond. The sheriff can start taking property. We are talking about real things, not ideas, physical things, buildings, golf courses, houses. Let us be real.
The golf course, the funeral home. You mean the funeral home where Ivana is buried? Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
If you or I owed $1
Selling
million
the
and tried
oils.
to
That
hide it, the
yep.
bank would not wait. They would not give us 30 days. They would not let us go on TV and complain. They would take the house. They would take the car. We are watching to see if the system treats him like it treats us. That is the real test here.
Yes,
Is the law
sir.
the same for everyone? Today, the bank said enough.
Yes.
They froze the accounts not because they hate him, but because they love their own money. They want to make sure there is something left to take when the trial is over. It feels slow. I know. I read your comments. You are frustrated. You want to see justice happening fast. But follow the money. The money always tells the truth. People lie. Money does not. The banks did the math today, and the math says he is in trouble. Imagine you are running a business. You have vendors to pay, you have staff to pay, and suddenly the bank says, account frozen, you cannot
Oh.
buy paper, you
Ooh.
cannot pay the electric bill, everything
Ooh.
stops. That is what is happening to the
Ooh.
defense team right now. They are looking at their screens and seeing red zeros. As we move forward, watch for a specific legal paper called a lien. A lien is like a sticky note on a house that says, this belongs to the bank. That is when the government officially puts a claim on a building. That is the next step. No one
Oh.
is above the math.
I'm sorry. Nobody is above the math.
More money than he has in the...
Hold on, y'all. I'm on it. No one is above the math, and the math ain't mathing. Oh Lord. No more. Okay, so Jack, let me ask you something. Jack be limber. Jack be quick. Jack jump over the candlestick. Can I borrow some money? Can I get a loan? Can I get an IOU? Your credit no good. Your credit no good. No good here, sir. Your credit no good here, sir. No, you don't pay. You no. Your name should be no pay Trump. Can I get a IOU? Jack be limber, Jack be quick. He can even jump over a candlestick. Can I get a AOU, please? IOU. Oh, Lord, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I owe that lady. I just couldn't resist. I owe her $83 million. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. My tricks ain't working. And my money's no good. These pictures coming out, Sasha talking. Oh, Lord. I can't steal Greenland. Nobody's working with me. Lord. Oh, I don't belong to you either. I turned my back on you. What am I gonna do now? Call up the devil? The devil made me do it. Yeah, you gonna try to call up the Lord now. You done sold your whole soul and everything to the devil. The devil, that old song, call him up, tell him what you want. Call him up, tell him what you want. Ooh, yes, indeed, honey. He ain't answer. He put it on do not disturb. You called it, it went straight to voicemail. He done blocked you. Oh Lord. He done blocked your call like the bank blocked your account. Oh my goodness. Let's go.
You cannot pay the electric bill.
Oh,
Everything
Lord.
stops. That is what is happening to the defense team
Bank
right
account
now.
on
They're
ice.
looking at their
Yeah.
screens and seeing
Yeah.
red zeros. As we
Red
move
zeros.
forward, watch for a specific
Lord.
legal paper called a lien. A lien is like a sticky note on a house that says
My,
this
my, my.
belongs to the bank.
My.
That is when the government officially puts a claim on a building. That is the next step. No one is above the math. Not presidents,
And the
not
math ain't mathing.
billionaires. Debt is debt. If you owe it, you have to pay it. The defense strategy has always been delay, delay, delay.
And deny.
Delay costs money. Every day you delay, the lawyers charge more. If you run out of money, you cannot afford to delay anymore. You have to face the music. So this freeze might actually speed things up.
Oh, so that's why they. Oh, so ain't nobody getting no money. Oh, the attorney. Oh, yeah. So all of his little. Oh, that mean his friends and on the bench, they didn't get their little cut. Oh, so that's why some of them voting against you. Their check didn't clear. Oh, Lord. Baby, I learned a long time ago. Stop writing them checks. You know, I don't even want to write no check. What I need a check for? No, sir. I use my card, my debit card. My check clears. Hello.
Up, it might force the end of the game. We are going to keep watching these accounts. We are going to keep tracking the filings.
So all them appeals cost. Now I know them attorneys know he ain't gonna pay them. He don't ever pay his bills. We do know that, right? Y'all please hit the like button. I'm about to go into the next phase. And I need my likes up. Hit the like button, hit the like button. Hit the like button, hit the like button. Don't make me block. Don't make me block. You know, don't make me freeze you out. Don't make me deny you access.
Has always been delay, delay, delay. But delay costs money. Every day you delay, the lawyers charge more. If you run out of money, you cannot afford to delay anymore. You have to face the music. So this freeze might actually speed things up. It might force the end of the game. We are going to keep watching these accounts.
He said delay the music. What song would that be? Ooh, what's a good delay? Oh, what's a good
It
one?
might force the end of the game. We are going to keep watching these accounts. We are going to keep tracking the filings. We are going to translate the boring financial papers into plain English so you know
We're gonna make you dance to the song. We're gonna make
more. If you run out of money, you cannot afford to delay anymore. You have to face the music. So this
what face the music song we got, y'all? What face the music song? What is a good face the music? I got one, but I don't know if it fit. You're just a fantasy. Your money ain't wanted here no more. Y'all know the beat? It's just a fantasy. Your money ain't good here anymore.
freeze might actually speed things up. It might force the end of the game.
Yeah, we ain't falling for the
Watching these
banana in the
accounts. We are
tailpipe
going to
no
keep
more.
tracking the filings. We are going to translate the boring financial papers into plain English so you know exactly what is happening. The system works when we watch it. If you want to follow the money with me, subscribe. And
That's a classic. That is classic. That's the quickest thing. I don't know what else I had, but that was the quickest that popped to me. Your money ain't good here anymore. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna make it do what it do. Y'all hit the like button. I'm finna head over to Candace and see what she got for us. What dot she done connected. Get your popcorn ready. Go get your little old tea. You know, make sure it's hot. Go get you something to drink. All of that good stuff. We about to go in. We about to go in. Again, before the night is over, happy birthday, Martin Luther King Jr.
Tracked for a while, right?
We greatly appreciate you and your sacrifice. May you continue to rest in peace. Yes, sir. Amen, amen. Y'all, I asked y'all to get the likes up and didn't nobody do it. Now, if I shut it all the way down, everybody in here be mad at Auntie Fee. Hit the three dots at the top right corner. Hit the dots. Hit the three dots. I hit the like button. What time is it? Okay. Now, you don't want me to run out of time. Double tap the face of the screen. I hit the three dots at the top right corner. Or you can go ahead and leave.
All right, you guys, it is MLK Day, which means that no one, absolutely no one, can tell me that I cannot talk about my dreams today. Today might actually just be one long I had a dream speech.
It's about to
Well, guess what? We found out something stunning about Dan Blood that apparently everybody missed. And this is actually potentially a game changer, or rather, it might reveal how the entire game works. It makes perfect sense now to me that the feds are doing nothing to investigate Charlie Kirk's assassination. Speaking of which, Turning Point USA has done a thing. They've done a thing. They sent a cease and desist letter to a relatively small YouTuber, Wolves and Finance. We've shown a clip of Wolves and Finance on the show once. I assume that this means that Andrew Colvett is still heading up the PR department because it's a disaster. Welcome back to Candace. Okay, before we get started, a quick thank you to Nimi Skincare for supporting the show. Nimi Skincare makes my skin glow. They're straightforward, effective, tunnel vision, and all you care about is Charlie Kirk's assassination. Also involved in the assassination, saying that, first and foremost, he knew that Charlie was less than sane. I will say that. Imagine that I get a lot of emails, some of which are gates open. Crazy, 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 crazy. All right, you guys, it is MLK Day, which means that...
I'm sorry, hold on.
Was emailing me consistently saying that, first and foremost, he knew that Charlie was going to be assassinated, all sorts of things that immediately made my eyebrow raise, obviously. For example, he said that he knew who killed JFK. A group of people, he said, killed JFK. All right, buddy, that's what I was thinking, I'm sure. He said that the families of those who had orchestrated the murder of JFK, corrupt cops, mafia members, I believe, obviously, that, yeah, they were a part of the ensemble. But he said that those same families were also involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a group of Texas boys. I'm like, right, sure, got it, not answering this. He even said that Golda Meir, the one-time prime minister of Israel, well, her and Lyndon Baines, he said, are brother and sister, and he knows this for a fact. Now, I'd say that's the most convincing thing he said, because they are absolute.
Yeah, they
also
look
involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a group of Texas boys. I'm like, right, sure, got it, not answering this. He even said that Golda Meir, the one-time prime minister of Israel, well, her and Lyndon Baines, he said, are brother.
Lyndon Baines. Now it's the nose, I guess, and the mouth. Now they look alike to me, but let's listen.
And sister, and he knows this for a fact. Now, I'd say that's the most convincing thing he said, because they are absolute twins. But anyway, obviously, I was not biting on any of this, because even if it were true, what am I going to do with all this information? Like, I can't get into a time machine and call for new elections in 1963. I already hate Lyndon Baines Johnson for free. I already think he's involved in JFK's assassination. And Golda Meir, look, I'm not exactly known as the voice of the Israeli people. So then he starts emailing me in another inbox, and he says something to the effect
Yeah,
of,
once that
I
happens,
see that you have tunnel vision and all you care about is Charlie
Candace
Kirk's
and
assassination.
and
So why don't I
Sasha.
tell you about how that worked, so that maybe you will begin to see the bigger picture here? And he says, and I'm going to put in a very strong allegedly here.
No, not until they get them likes up. 204 people in here, and them likes did not go up. No, sir. No, ma'am. And I need for y'all to know, if y'all don't double tap or hit those three dots at the top corner. Hey, Brian. You perfect time. It's just about to get hot, and I'm waiting for the likes to go up. How you doing? Only 2 people hit them. I'm not gonna do this tonight. Hit the likes. Get the thumbs up. I'm good. Awesome.
Because I don't have any proof of this, but it's relevant that I tell you this to get to the part where I do have. What am I going to do with all this information? Like, I can't get into a time machine and call for new elections in 1963. I already hate Lyndon Baines Johnson for free. I already think he's involved in JFK's assassination. And Golda Meir, look, I'm not exactly known as the voice of the Israeli people. So then he starts emailing me in another inbox, and he says something to the effect of, I see that you have tunnel vision and all you care about is Charlie Kirk's assassination. So why don't I tell you about how that worked, so that maybe you will begin to see the bigger picture here? And he says, and I'm going to put in a very strong allegedly here, because I don't have any proof of this, but it's relevant that I tell you this to get to the part where I do have proof of what he's saying. He says that allegedly all of the bought and paid for cops throughout America are a part of what's known as the cattleman's ball, colloquially, the cattle baron ball, which he claims is just one big, massive money laundering operation from Israel to buy off cops here in America. He claims that he was a part of it, by the way. So basically,
Wait, what?
allegedly, all of the bought and paid for cops throughout America are a part of what's known as the cattleman's ball, colloquially, the cattle baron ball, which he claims is just one big, massive money laundering operation from Israel to buy off cops here in America. He claims that he was a part of it, by the way. So basically, this guy's implicating himself in a crime. Now, in case you're wondering off the bat, did I report this crime? I obviously have not even heard back from the feds regarding my initial report into what happened to Charlie Kirk. So why would I waste my time building upon the reports when I haven't heard from them? Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Not really.
Let me hear this again.
Which he claims is just one big, massive money laundering operation from Israel to buy off cops here in America. He claims that he was a part of it, by the way. So basically, this guy's implicating himself in a crime. Now, in case you're wondering off the bat, did I report this crime? I obviously have not even heard back from the feds regarding my initial report into what happened to Charlie Kirk. So why would I waste my time building? And Golda Meir, look, I'm not exactly known as the voice of the Israeli people. So then he starts emailing me in another inbox, and he says something to the effect of, I see that you have tunnel vision and all you care about is Charlie Kirk's assassination. So why don't I tell you about how that worked, so that maybe you will begin to see the bigger picture here? And he says, and I'm going to put in a very strong allegedly here because I don't have any proof of this, but it's relevant that I tell you this to get to the part where I do have proof of what he's saying. He says that allegedly all of the bought and paid for cops throughout America are a part of what's known as the cattleman's ball, colloquially, the cattle baron ball, which he claims is just one big, massive money laundering operation from Israel to buy off cops here in America. He claims that he was a part of it, by the way. So basically, this guy's implicating himself in a crime. Now, in case you're wondering off the bat, did I report this crime? I obviously have not even heard back from the feds regarding my initial report into what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Which is messed
So why would I
up.
waste my time building upon the reports when I haven't heard from them? Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Not really. They're not really investigating things. I think we all accept that at this point. Anyway, for a little bit of background here, in case you're not familiar with sometimes known as the Cattleman's Ball, but more correctly should be known as the Cattle's Baron Ball down in Dallas, Texas. It's a single night fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. And it's massive. To be clear, it's the world's largest single night fundraiser. It was founded 50 years ago in Dallas, Texas, and now it's basically spread its tentacles into other states, presumably, again, fighting cancer. And we can pull up the website here so you can see multiple states that they're in. Majority Texas, obviously, but you can also see got Kansas, Oregon, and some other states. Florida, Orlando, Florida's up there. Nebraska
Like Baron Trump.
also once hosted its own Cattle Barons Ball that might be relevant. They eventually, from the Cattle Barons Ball, minted their own separate 501c3 referred to as Cattleman's Ball, which is the same exact idea, but it benefits a different cancer center, the Fred and Pamela Buffett Cancer Center. Same idea, different beneficiary. Now, again, I want to assert that I cannot confirm those claims, that that's how cops are being paid off. I'm telling you that because the next piece he gave me, I was able to research.
Okay,
Again,
let's go.
paraphrasing, but he kept going on with, you're obsessed with Fort Huachuca, you think Charlie has been tracked for a while, right? Well, you haven't even figured out who Dan Flood is. Dan Flood is connected to both. You think it was an inside job from the feds, and none of you guys have even worked out who Dan Flood's father is. I said, okay, now you've got my attention, and you guys,
Let's go.
don't know how I missed it. I don't know how I missed it.
Let's go.
Let me just say, LOL to the idea that the feds are going to do anything to
wow.
look into what happened on September 10th. Because let me introduce to you guys Dan Flood's daddy, Mr.
Get the likes up. I'm scared. Oh my God. Get the likes. Oh my God. Who is the daddy? I'm the daddy. Y'all hit the like button. 3 dots at the top. Double tap the face of your screen. Oh my God. Who is the daddy? Come on. Double tap. It's 260 people in here. 279. How y'all coming in so rude and disrespectful and not hitting the like button? Hit the 3 dots. I'm that baby's pappy. Hit the like button. Oh my goodness. The tea is hot. Even the ones that's sitting in the bushes. Ear hustling. You too? 214 of y'all, you too? You can double tap. It won't cost you a thing. Or you can send a super chat, super sticker. You can send some gems. Send something.
Robert Eugene Flood. Okay, now you're seeing this picture up here. Yep, 33. Always got to see it. 33 years with the.
It's always a 33. Now, who is he? Hold on. Who you? Who you, Pappy? 33. Checks it. Pappy. I'm the Pappy. No, boss. I's the Pappy. You the Pappy. Hold on, Candace. Let's go.
Eugene Flood. Okay, now you're seeing this picture up here. Yep, 33. Always got to see it. 33 years with the Texas A&M University Police Department Chief Deputy Robert Flood. It tells us the 232nd session, retired after 35 years of law enforcement in Illinois and Texas. I want you to remember that, Illinois and Texas. His last assignment was with the Bosque County, Texas Sheriff's Office. Okay, now we're going to pull up his LinkedIn because it's a bit of a journey. It's a journey, okay? It tells us that he, and honestly, I don't know if you can scroll to the bottom here so we can go bottom up and kind of get into, first and foremost, yes, FBI, graduated from the FBI National Academy. It tells us that state of Texas master peace officer. But if you can go to scroll up a bit, and we're going to just go to, show all 10 experiences and scroll from the bottom so we can look at this live. Okay, so we know he's a Marine. We learned that he was a staff sergeant for the Marines, and he was particularly in charge of surveillance and target acquisition, small arms and weapons, tactical radio communications, aviation ordnance and weapons systems. You scroll up, and it tells us that he was working in Franklin Park, Illinois for over a decade. That's right on the basically a couple of streets over from where Charlie Kirk was raised. And I was going, okay, that's really interesting. I then tried to find a single trace of his name mentioned in the news in Illinois. You would think if you were as it states here, crime scene technician, SWAT team leader, patrol division supervisor, criminal investigator, there would be tons of articles about. I couldn't find anything. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means that I could not find anything at first, second, and third glance. Okay, then this random Electro Rent Corporation, which runs from Tokyo, Japan to Chicago. Let me know if you guys know what that is. Then we learned he became a lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserve. Okay, we can scroll up here. Then he retired as a lieutenant colonel. He was then the captain of police, and some of this is concurrent, so it's interesting, for the University Park Police back down in Texas, chief deputy sheriff for Texas law enforcement. It goes on, okay? This guy, no question, is and was a Fed. And then it interestingly tells us that he joined the FBI AA.
AA.
So, in case you're like me and you have no idea what the FBI AA is, that stands for the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Agent Association, which is another charity founded in 1981. I can't believe this is legal, but I guess if you're the feds, it's all legal. Founded in 1981, lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserve. Okay, we can scroll up here. Then he retired as a lieutenant colonel. He was then the captain of police, and some of this is concurrent, so it's interesting, for the University Park Police back down in Texas, chief deputy sheriff for Texas law enforcement. It goes on, okay? This guy,
Texas
no
always
question,
in there, ain't they?
is and was a Fed. And then it interestingly tells us that he joins the FBI AA. So, in case you're like me and you have no idea what the FBI AA is, that stands for the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Agent Association, which is another charity founded in 1981. I can't believe this is legal, but I guess if you're the feds, it's all legal. Founded in 1981, where former and current feds come together to, and this is directly from their website, help FBI special agents join together to protect and advance the interests of their profession. Okay, what does that mean? A bunch of agents are coming together. That's according to their website. It says that their force, this FBI AA, consists of 14,000 former and current feds. Now, again, this is a charity. So if I'm a billionaire, I could just cut a check and buy me some federal officers. Again, I'm asking questions. That's how it works in charity world. We're learning that with Turning Point USA. The bigger the check you cut, the more influence you have on their operations. You get to tell them what they think about, what they talk about. So if I write a $10 million check to the FBI AA, do I have federal officers in every state? Anyway, yes, Dan Flood's family, as you can see, both his mother and his father, by the way, are from Illinois, just where Charlie, in the same area that Charlie came up in. And though I cannot assert this, I can't say this with certainty, I would be willing to bet that Mr. Flood, Dan's father, Robert Eugene Flood, probably knew Bill Montgomery, the guy who convinced Charlie to start Turning Point USA in Illinois, in the same neighborhood. Don't forget, Bill Montgomery was also military as well. He was Air Force. And now to clarify, because I got a lot of emails about this, the X-Men school, I keep referring to as the X-Men school that Charlie went to after they wanted to drug him for being brilliant, and his mother said no. That school is Quest Academy in Palatine, Illinois. It was formerly named the Children's Creative Academy. I maintain my belief that Charlie was being monitored by the government since he was young, and it was Bill Montgomery who organized and initially paid, you should know, for the full-time security that Charlie would need. He arranged that. Bill Montgomery chose to hire Schaefer Security, military as well. He was Air Force. And now to clarify, because I got a lot of emails about this, the X-Men school, I keep referring to as the X-Men school that Charlie went to after they wanted to drug him for being brilliant, and his mother said no. That school is Quest Academy in Palatine, Illinois. It was formerly named the Children's Creative Academy. I maintain my belief that Charlie was being monitored by the government since he was young, and it was Bill Montgomery who organized and initially paid, you should know, for the full-time security that Charlie would need. He arranged that. Bill Montgomery chose to hire Schaefer Security, which was run by Greg Schaefer, and working under Greg Schaefer was Dan Flood and Brian Harpole. And there's no mystery regarding Greg Schaefer, okay? He also is from Dallas, Texas, working for the FBI on the elite hostage and rescue team. He was a supervisor on the Dallas Joint Terrorism Task Force. And get this, also another Eastern European connection because he was also...
And y'all remember there was a situation that they kind of faked in front in Dallas not too long ago with the immigration. Somebody on the roof. He's supposed to be an immigrant. Now how he got on the roof, remember, we don't know. But they staged it. Yeah. Let's go.
And working under Greg Schaefer was Dan Flood and Brian Harpole. And there's no mystery regarding Greg Schaefer, okay? He also is from Dallas, Texas, working for the FBI on the elite hostage and rescue team. He was a supervisor on the Dallas Joint Terrorism Task Force. And get this, also another Eastern European connection because he was also a part of their organization in Budapest, Hungary. If you didn't know, the FBI also has sub-offices all around the globe, and Greg was at least stationed in Budapest. He probably was stationed in other places. So Bill Montgomery, you got this guy. He hires Greg Schaefer and Dan Flood, and they're going to stay with Charlie forever. Brian Harpole. So we jump back into the narrative because it's going to get even more interesting. We had closed out last week informing you about New Braunfels, Texas, because people on the internet who had been tracking Erika's plane noticed that it kept going to this seemingly random city in Texas. Mm-hmm. And we dismissed that as potentially a nothing burger or something that makes sense, a sensible burger, because Turning Point's #1 donor, who last year in June cut a check for $10 million, the couple, Nelda and Carl Buckman, they live there, okay? What we didn't know at the time, we didn't know until this weekend, Greg, or something that makes sense, a sensible burger, because Turning Point's #1 donor, who last year in June cut a check for $10 million, the couple, Nelda.
10 mil. 10 mil.
And Carl Buckman, they live there, okay? What we didn't know at the time, we didn't know until this weekend, is that they aren't the only ones that live there. Dan Flood also lives in New Braunfels, Texas. I can confirm that. That's a fact. The question is why? What or who inspired Dan, who is from Allen, Texas, to move out to New Braunfels? That's where he graduated high school, by the way, in Allen, Texas. We know that for a fact because one of his high school buddies after the assassination posted this. Bro, the head of Charlie Kirk's security team, the guy they say is in on it was my friend as a kid. We grew up together. I went to middle and high school with Dan Flood. Matter of fact, last time I saw him, he was doing security for some Dallas billionaire at the Cattleman's Ball. What a crazy small world. Yeah, this dude has been in private security for at least 20 years. I had no idea he was running it for TPUSA. I would like to know, since he happened to mention the should-be cattle Barons Ball in Texas where he ran into him, who were the billionaires that Dan was working with? I think that could be a very interesting thing to know, don't you? Couldn't that be interesting to know? Because there have been a lot of things that are coming up here. We've noted that, oddly, all of Charlie's security that day was from Texas, from Rick Cutler to Dan Flood, even Brian Harpole. Brian Harpole, you should know, was also born in Dallas, Texas, and similar to Dan, his father, Bobby Harpole, back in 2018 when he was running for county sheriff in Erath, Texas, he gave an interview about his upbringing where he said, and I quote, because there have been a lot of things that are coming up here. We've noted that, oddly, all of Charlie's security that day was from Texas, from Rick Cutler to Dan Flood, even Brian Harpole. Brian Harpole, you should know, was also born in Dallas, Texas, and similar to Dan, his father, Bobby Harpole, back in 2018 when he was running for county sheriff in Erath, Texas, he gave an interview about his upbringing where he said, and I quote, I was born in Denton, Texas, and grew up a quote-unquote military brat, living in numerous states and Europe. I started my law enforcement career in 1968 with the Texas Department of Public Safety, living in Amarillo for the Texans, Childress, Amarillo, Floresville, and Stevensville. I retired from TDPS as a sergeant in Highway Patrol. I then went to work for the Erath County Sheriff's Office, and after 12 years of service, retired as captain. Okay, interesting. They have tons of military ties. It's unbelievable.
Okay, couple of things. I gotta get the likes up. I'm a little over an hour in. Gotta get the likes up. Gotta get them up. Gotta get them up. Now, y'all remember, if y'all were here on the live before this, I did that little upload. Well, it wasn't an upload. I did a clip. With, yeah, right there. You can see it right there. With Sasha and Epstein. And it was Sasha when he was about 10 or 11. I need for y'all to go and hype that up for me. It put a hype on it. Can y'all go real quick and hype that up for me? Let me know when y'all done hype that up. He is with Jeffrey Epstein with some other little boys. Sasha Riley with Epstein and 3 other boys. And remember, we saw the tattoo of one of the little girls that passed away when they were trafficked. Please go hype that up. Oh, man. Hold on. Like and share that. We need to get the word out that was Sasha Riley when he was a minor with Jeffrey Epstein when he was being passed around by his foster dad. Okay, let me get back. Did y'all hit the like button? That was a very good live. But please hype that up for me. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm going to back it up a little bit. Catch her with excitement. Like, thank y'all.
At Old Barron's Ball in Texas, where he ran into him, who were the billionaires that Dan was working with? I think that could be a very interesting thing to know, don't you? Couldn't that be interesting to know?
Hi, HO6484.
Because there have been a lot of things that are coming up here. We've noted that oddly, all of Charlie's security that day was from Texas, from Rick Cutler to Dan Flood, even Brian Harpole. Brian Harpole, you should know, was also born in Dallas, Texas, and similar to Dan, his father, Bobby Harpole,
Texas,
back in
all up
2018
in it.
when he was running for county sheriff in Erath, Texas, he gave an interview about his upbringing where he said, and I quote, "I was born in Denton, Texas, and grew up a quote-unquote military brat, living in numerous states and Europe. I started my law enforcement career in 1968 with the Texas Department of Public Safety, living in Amarillo for the Texans, Childress, Amarillo, Floresville, and Stevensville. I retired from TDPS as a sergeant in Highway Patrol. I then went to work for the Erath County Sheriff's Office, and after 12 years of service, retired as captain." Okay, interesting. They have tons of military ties. It's unbelievable. In fact, now his dad is working at a funeral home, which feels interesting change of career there at the end. The point is that when you begin to look into Harpole's extensive military and law enforcement ties, it brings you to the Pacific, through Europe, and of course, all through Texas, just like the Flood family. And yes, it goes back decades, okay? All of this to say, maybe the Dallas Buyers Club might get a new meaning. What are we buying down in Dallas, actually? What did happen in 1963? Why did this person know that? He claims that he has worked with their families. Are we expected to believe that the feds are meaningfully investigating the feds? How does that work?
Exactly. How do it work?
As a hypothetical question, if Dan Flood and Brian
How does it work?
were
Hey, hello,
actually
Moore.
guilty of organizing
Thank you.
Charlie Kirk's assassination,
Look
again,
full
this is
circle
hypothetical.
to me.
Do
I
you
tried
believe
to-
that the feds would turn them over?
How long have I been saying that?
I'm thinking they wouldn't. And that was kind of the point of what this person was saying to me. It's like, this corruption goes back to Dallas in the 60s. There's nothing that anybody can do. Anyways, thought it was an interesting tidbit that I wanted to give to you guys. We'll be right back after a brief break from our sponsors.
And remember the girl that was in the Trump or somebody, the limousine driver was going to DFW and overheard that conversation. And the young girl that was supposed to have been SA. Yeah, and then I did a little research on her because that was in Texas, remember? And she allegedly unalived herself. Yeah, right.
All right, you guys, when people ask me what I am using on my skin, the answer is plan that's designed just for you, / Candace. Okay, so new conspiracy just dropped. I'm dropping a new conspiracy today for funsies. You know, in the movie Mean Girls, when Lindsay Lohan sabotages Regina George, he sabotages her diet at least by giving her these nutrient-dense bars from Africa, but telling Regina that the bars are actually going to help her lose weight. And then she realizes that she's been sabotaged and she screams. That's what I have to imagine is happening at Turning Point USA. Like somebody's just setting Erika Kirk up, right? It's probably Elizabeth McCoy. I feel like if I had, it's her because they're like best friends, and Elizabeth and Mikey are like in the shadows, like it's gonna be us, we're gonna be next, Turning Point is ours. And so she's pretending to be Erika's BFF, but secretly giving her the worst advice of all time. She's like, you should wear glitter tonight. I don't think there's enough glitter. You need glitter on the makeup, head to toe, all of it. You look amazing. Charlie loved pyrotechnics, and he also liked that Nicki Minaj Monsterverse. I think you need both. We got to do both. We need to put the fun in funeral.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know. That's what I think. I think it's Elizabeth McCoy.
Erika.
Remember, it was Elizabeth McCoy. It was her idea to put the tent up. It's her. This is my wear glitter tonight. I don't think there's enough glitter. You need glitter on the makeup, head to toe, all of it. You look amazing. Charlie loved
glitter.
Pyrotechnics, and
you are glitter.
He also liked that Nicki Minaj Monsterverse. I think you need both. We got to do both. We need to put the fun in funeral. I don't know. That's what I think. I think it's Elizabeth McCoy. Remember, it was Elizabeth McCoy. It was her idea to put the tent up.
Wasn't that Mariah? What was Mariah Carey's movie? Wasn't it glitter? glitter something. Glitter. Now Sparkles was Irene Carroll. And Michael, what was his name? No, Irene Carroll. Sparkle. No, glitter block. It wasn't glitter box. What did about a butterfly or something? No, Sparkles was Irene Carroll. I almost thought. What's the song? Glitter. It was just glitter. Okay. What was that song? Irene Carroll's in Sparkle. Oh wow, I can't. I love Sparkle. And Philip Michael Thomas.
Head to toe, all of it. You look amazing. Charlie loved pyrotechnics, and he also liked that Nicki Minaj Monsterverse. I think you need both. We got to do both. We need to put the fun in funeral. I don't know. That's what I think. I think it's Elizabeth McCoy. Remember, it was Elizabeth McCoy. It was her idea to put the tent up. It's her.
She said at the funeral, put the fun in funeral.
She's going to slide to that spot. And then she's going to wear black, and she's going to actually mourn Charlie and be like, I don't know what Erika was thinking. She wants the throne. Anyways, that's my best excuse that I can offer, the best excuse that I can summon for every move that the organization is making, which has just been disastrous. It's clown world over there. And now, to add to that, to snowball, someone has made the brilliant decision to send a cease and desist letter to a relatively small YouTube channel who's made interesting videos regarding the finances of Turning Point USA. Has he gotten everything right? Of course not. We even said when he got something very wrong, like the wrong person, I tweeted and said, this is not the right person, you should take this down. And guess what? He immediately took it down and corrected it and removed it from his content. So this isn't like a bad faith actor by any means. It's wolves in finance, and I'm referring to the presenter, Zach Gregorio. I'm going to let him explain to you what happened. Take a listen.
This week, I received a letter from Turning Point titled Demand to Cease and Desist Defamatory Comments. This is the first step when someone sues you for defamation. I know there are a lot of people out there making videos about Turning Point, so you should pay attention to this. They have started sending out cease and desist letters, and for some reason, they've decided to start with me. Apparently, they cannot handle the criticism
freak out.
from my teeny tiny YouTube channel. This letter is showing the world the type of organization Turning Point has become under Erika Kirk. They want to send legal letters
Send
to
her
small
some
YouTube
glitter.
creators.
She just need a little glitter.
So we're going to go through this letter. Now, it is nice that we have this letter with their official statements, but the letter does nothing to change my suspicions. It does not address most of my questions. Instead of answering my questions, it is the precursor to a lawsuit unless I change my statements. That does nothing to reduce my suspicions. For the sake of avoiding miscommunication, I can change the title of the video if that makes them more happy. I already changed it from More Fraud at
His
Turning Point
feelings hurt.
USA to More Fraud at Turning Point USA, allegedly.
I'm sorry. I just enjoy him. There's something about it. It's like my teeny tiny YouTube channel. Allegedly. I enjoy that. I'm sorry
It's
for
not
laughing
going to
at that.
change
Instead of
my
answering my
views.
questions, it is the precursor to a lawsuit unless I change my statements. That does nothing to reduce my suspicions. For the sake of avoiding miscommunication, I can change the title of the video if that makes them more happy.
Are you happy now?
I changed it from More Fraud.
Are you happy now? Are you happy now? Are you happy now? Y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button. Frozen perfectly. Didn't I get it? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It do not change my views. Allegedly. In my opinion. Dude, Nicki Minaj got the virus. Nicki Minaj got, oh, she's a Zionist. Okay, with that. Okay. Can you hit the like button?
For the sake of avoiding miscommunication,
Oh my goodness.
I can change the title of the video if that makes them more happy. I already changed it from More Fraud at Turning Point USA to More Fraud at Turning Point USA, allegedly.
I'm sorry. I just enjoy him. There's something about it. It's like my teeny tiny YouTube channel. Allegedly. I enjoy that. I'm sorry for laughing at that because it's funny. It is funny. And it's ridiculous. Guys, I thought we left in 2025. I thought that I did this for everybody. You can't just sue people to make them shut up. We have to be done with that as a society. It is a uniquely American phenomenon of suing people for everything. You know, get into your car accidentally gently touches somebody else's car.
Oh, that was that song.
There.
I could not. That song Irene Cara sung on Sparkle, giving him something he can feel. Y'all remember that? Yeah, that was an old Aretha song. That was Sparkle. You had me stuck on the spit. Oh, not that one. I want to hear, you got me, you got hooked on love. I'm sorry, I done stopped it. I don't want to hear Aretha singing it. I want to hear Sparkle singing it. So y'all can remember what I'm talking about. Come on, Sparkle.
Powerball and Mega Millions will
Of
try
course,
to put me in jail
Powerball.
for saying this, but I'm going to expose the lottery loophole that
Y'all remember?
So much love for us.
Oh, no, that ain't Irene.
So much hope for material things.
Where's Irene Cara?
Are they only in my dreams?
Y'all remember now? Giving him
Insurance
something
agencies getting involved. I mean, the
he
whole
can
scam
feel.
of suing people just needs to end. Okay, it just needs to end. Get allegedly. I enjoy that. I'm sorry for laughing at that because it's funny. It is funny and it's ridiculous, guys. I thought we left in 2025. I thought that I did this for everybody. You can't just sue people to make them shut up. We have to be done with that as a society. It is a uniquely American phenomenon of suing people for everything. You know, get into your car accidentally gently touches somebody else's car. Now you need the cops there. The insurance agencies get involved. I mean, the whole scam of suing people just needs to end. Okay, it just needs to end. Get a job, work hard. If you feel that someone is putting out wrong information about you, don't start a cease and desist letter with, "We don't intend to sue you." That's what he's saying is correct. That is exactly what a cease and desist is for. It's the first step to suing somebody. Otherwise, this could have been an email. If I got him to take something out of his video after I shared it, I said, "This is incorrect." And he did it, when I say instantly, immediately took down the video and corrected it. Why can't Turning Point try to behave like a human and just have somebody email from the PR office, "Hey, Andrew, this could be you," and say, "Hey, I do PR for Turning Point USA. Happy to answer some of your questions. Just send them over." Or say, "Hey, you got this wrong. Do you mind please updating this? This is not right." They have so much money, they just are spending money on stupidity. And again, what is your end goal? As he says later on, he's like, "I don't have any money. What is your end goal here with sending this letter?" It's obviously going to backfire. But I just want to say, the energy of this, I have lawyers, I can sue you, I'm rich. It needed to be left behind in 2025 with Brigitte Macron, okay? And of course, it backfires immediately. It backfires spectacularly because now Turning Point is on record because of this video and because of this letter that they sent him. They are now on record going against themselves on record. We have received so many different stories from them regarding the drones that were there on the day of Charlie's assassination. First, Frank Turek came out and he said that while they were driving over to the event, he was showing Charlie live drone footage on his phone. And Charlie loved it. He was like, "It's amazing." Then Brian Harpole, apparently unaware that Frank Turek had already told the truth, he moved to tell Sean Ryan that actually there were no drones because the university denied their request to fly them. And people were like, "Hey, wait a minute, that's ridiculous. You guys changed two different statements. Why does it look like you're lying all the time?" So, of course, Andrew Colvett came out, swooped in with his always perfecting PR, and he said this regarding the mix-up. Take a listen.
Early on, Frank Turk talked about that on the way there that, he actually was looking at Charlie's phone and that he saw drone footage from the event. Now, I had talked to, with that in mind, number one, I went to UVU and I actually put the drone up. We were going to do the survey. Immediately, law enforcement came up and said, "Hey, look, we need you to take down that drone." Now, my drone pilot had already made all the necessary steps with the FFA to make sure that we could do that. And I explained to the law enforcement officer, "Hey, look, you guys don't control this airspace." But he's like, "Well, we got policies, you have to do this." And we're not going to sit there and argue with him, right? So we ended up grounding the drone. We went and jumped through some hoops. We were trying to get some documents done. Long story short, what we ended up having to do was leave campus. We flew the drone. We were off campus. We flew the drone. We got the survey. So that kind of reinforced other people saying, Brian Harpole specifically saying, like, "Hey, we couldn't get permission to get a drone up in the air." And of course, people took that, what Frank said at the beginning, and said, "Hey, this is clear indication of lying and or a conspiracy." Well, what I found out was the picture that was being pushed around saying, "Hey, this is proof that there was drone footage." It was it was very clear to me once I saw that picture.
But hold on.
It is a wide angle shot of the crowd
and let's
from
throw
the
that
second
up.
floor.
Yeah, let's throw that up.
Yeah.
This is actually I think the images, guys, I sent them to you. Yeah, this is actually, there was a walkway or a bridge elevated that was just from our events team that was setting up that event. They went up there as they always did, to show Charlie the crowd size. So they took those images.
Yeah, and I completely understand
20
why.
seconds, Gary.
Frank,
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand why Frank thought this was a drone, but again, I think it almost shows that the lack of conspiracy, because you guys aren't sitting in there micromanaging what people say. It's just different people's perspectives, and there isn't some sort of collusion.
Yeah, that's really nice. Except now Turning Point USA's lawyer is going to dispute Andrew, and the worst PR, the worst person that PR money could buy, Paramount Tactical, because in the letter to Wolves in Finance, he says, no, there were drones, but it was only allowed for some people. But there were drones that day. Take a listen.
Oh, wow.
On December 7th, I posted a video called Top 10 Clowns of the Year. In this video, I called Turning Point my #1 clown of the year. I talked about the now infamous interview with Turning Point's chief security person talking about the day that Charlie Kirk was murdered. I point out the massive contradiction where he says they were not allowed to fly drones. Then I show the interview with Frank Turek where he says he was watching drone footage with Charlie Kirk. This part is breaking news because I'm not aware this has ever been discussed. The lawyer in this letter says the following. There was no discrepancy. UVU prohibited Turning Point USA from flying drones for security purposes during the event, but did allow a Turning Point USA media production drone to briefly fly over the location before the event to collect limited B-roll footage. First of all, how could this be defamatory if I had no idea about any of this? Second, I find this explanation absurd. You are telling me that the security team was not allowed drones, but the media team was? That is the official explanation from Turning Point's lawyer. My honest opinion is I do not believe that. But if that did happen, that is really silly, and it may have cost Charlie Kirk his life.
He is all of us. It's so absurd. Guys, you've had so much time to get your story straight. Were there drones? Were there not drones? Now, it's okay, there were drones, but only some people could have them. The media team was allowed to fly drones temporarily, and then he saw that. We were just told by Paramount Tactical and Andrew that was just the wide shot that Frank saw. Now we're like, oh no, the media team, that is what happened. They were allowed to fly drones, but security couldn't. What? You're going to let media fly drones temporarily to get a shot, but you're not going to let the security team fly drones temporarily to get a shot of what they're looking at? Does that make any sense? And by the way, hey, Brian Harpole, how about being resourceful? If you figured out the media team could do it and they could get it to Frank, why didn't they get it to you? Why didn't they get to you what the rooftops looked like? Oh, I know, because you're all lying. That's pretty obvious by now. You're all lying. Please just stop lying about everything. Because eventually what's happening is what we're going through right now. The public is having to decide whether or not you have been making genuine mistakes repeatedly or if you have been fibbing nonstop at all hours of every day because you're engaged in a cover-up. And I am of the latter opinion. I have been for a while. There are just too many inconsistencies at all time. It's not that difficult to remember the truth. Judge Judy watched it in bed with my grandma. If you're going to be a liar, you better have a good memory. And it turns out none of you guys have a good memory. The person that had the photographic memory is dead. That was Charlie Kirk. Okay? That was your boy wonder, and you've now lost him.
Okay. More to know. Ouch. I was leaning on my elbow. It's funny that I'm glad you brought that up because with so much Sasha stuff, I be forgetting what I have sometimes.
Excuse me, officer?
Let me see how I'm going to set it up. Oh, no, don't go nowhere. What? Okay. Now, I know I've seen but baby, when I tell you this one is spot on. This one here is spot on. He's spot on.
Excuse me, officer? Can I please have a sticker? It looks super familiar. Can you help me get this in a win back?
No. You want a sticker?
Thank you so much. You look super familiar. Are you Charlie?
What was that?
Are you Charlie?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's your name?
I just told you, Officer Kirchin.
Oh, Oh my God, you look super familiar. Excuse me, officer. Can you please have a sticker? You look super familiar.
Now I don't know if this
Can you
AI. I don't know what
No.
this is,
You want a sticker?
Thank you so much.
but I don't remember the
You
other
look
guy
super
having a
familiar.
part on
Are you Charlie?
this Eddie
What was
in the
that?
Are
front.
you Charlie?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's your name?
I just told you, Officer Kirchin.
Oh my God, you look super familiar. Excuse me, officer. Can you please have a sticker? You look super familiar.
What you mean not good?
Can you help me get this out of Wayne back?
No. You want a sticker?
What?
Thank you so much.
Pale.
You look super familiar. Are you Charlie?
What was that?
Are you Charlie?
You said what? Pale. Where is he? I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He got a wedding ring on.
What's your name?
Oh. Been doing crazy with the taco. Oh, when he smiled. And listen to the voice. Listen to the voice.
I just told you, Officer Kirchin.
Oh my God. You look super familiar. Excuse me, officer. Can you please have a sticker? You look super familiar.
Look at this. It's little thinning. Only thing it look like right here is like he parted the hair over to try to cover up that balding spot to me.
Can you help me?
And it looked like he got on the bulletproof vest. Cash with the Valhalla. Military.
Is that a Wayne back?
No. You want a sticker?
Thank you so much. You look super familiar. Are you Charlie?
What was that?
Are you Charlie?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's your name?
I just told you, Officer Kirchin.
Oh my God, you look super familiar. Excuse me, officer. Can you please have...
Okay, so that's the answer to your question. I mean, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I feel like that about more than one person, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, it just wasn't a right amount of blood for me. And he said Valhalla. Okay, y'all ready? Let's go ahead and end this because I gotta. Tyler, that kid on trial. I mean, do I think he did it? No, absolutely not.
Speaking of
I had a
inconsistencies,
video
for
on
example,
that
last
today
week I
too.
told you that in working on this investigation, the theme of sex trafficking, it's coming up too much. Child sex trafficking in particular.
Absolutely.
And so I was interested in Erika having said that while she was quote unquote lost him. Speaking of inconsistencies, for example, last week I told you that in working on this investigation, the theme of sex trafficking, it's coming up too much. Child sex
Absolutely.
trafficking in particular. And so I was interested in Erika having said that while she was quote unquote living in China,
Yeah.
she was working with victims of sex trafficking. Okay, I want you to remember what she said. Take a listen.
I decided to create something called Everyday Heroes Like You, where we're able to, originally, it was focused on bringing funds and awareness to various grassroots organizations that were in specific communities that would be able to have volunteers that are transparent with their funds, that are actually doing what they're saying they're doing instead of just having 70% of the funds go to admin and only 30% towards the cause. It kind of grew into something more global. I was living in China and doing a lot of work with the victims from sex trafficking, and then began to phase that into working with the Marine Corps and the Army, and then was able to work with a orphanage in Romania to help sustain them during their winter seasons, and giving them more clothing items or tangible items rather than just money.
Then I told you guys that having asked this question through an official channel, Turning Point USA, I received a response alleging that Erika never lives there. So that's coming from Erika. She actually never lived there. They said that she simply visited for 2 weeks, you know, like a tourist, just to visit the Great Wall and perhaps see other monuments in history. Then somebody emailed me an interesting video of Charlie Kirk. And apparently he disagrees with that new assessment. This is a video of Charlie debating someone named Ben Carollo. Take a listen.
When you go to China, let me just tell you, you'll drive down the street and you will see dead people laying in the middle of the street. You will see people defecating.
Go to China then. Go to China. Take a video.
Actually,
Bring
you know
these
what?
Cameras. Go to China. Take a video with these cameras. I dare you right now.
Unlike you, my wife lived in China for 6 months, and she'll show you the videos. She'll show you the images. They don't have a regard for human life. They don't value people as the individual.
What's going on here? Okay, will the real Erika Kirk please stand up? Okay, because this isn't, you can't say you lived there, but say you didn't live there, or there for a trip. And now you've got your husband saying my wife lived there. So he clearly thought you lived there. You thought you lived there, and then somehow now you don't want to live there. And the reason I think is because after doing a little bit of digging, I saw on a real estate profile that you said that it was the charity Everyday Heroes. So that would check out, because that's what you were doing with that charity, and that's what you said in the interview. That was affiliated, or adjacent work that you were doing for Everyday Heroes in China. I would still like to know more about that. So since our official answer from Turning Point USA is that she was only there visiting, and yet we have her and Charlie on record saying that she was living there, I would like to know specifically what charity in China she was working with. And I'm sure, even though I know people in China don't have access to YouTube, I do know that they're somehow watching my show. If you know more about that, what they were doing, what charity they were working on, I would like to know. More tips at CandaceOwens.com. Like I said, I'm working on this Erika Kirk timeline, and I want everything to be legit. And there's a lot of information out there. There is a lot of wrong information out there, a lot of correct information out there. I want to pull it all together. So more tips at CandaceOwens.com. When was she in China? What specific charity was she working with that was helping victims of sex trafficking? Anyway, in other news, great news, Operation Mocking Pastor is back. I thought maybe we're going to leave that behind 2025. No, especially not when it comes to the Cornerstone Church. Remember, that was the church where we had the pastor get on stage and call me Cameras Owens and Tucker Carlson when they get their talking points. And it looks like it's renewed, it's been refreshed, and this time Cornerstone Church, different location, is also going to have a feature from our boy.
That's true. They always show us what they're doing.
Take a listen.
Hey everybody, Pastor Gary Hamrick here from Cornerstone Chapel, inviting you to a special Wednesday night service, January the 21st, where we're going to talk about anti-Semitism. It's on the rise in churches and in conservative politics. Consider Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson. We'll talk about them too. I'll have special guests with me, Pastor Rob McCoy, the leader of Turning Point Faith, Samuel Smadja from Israel, an Israeli businessman. So join us on Wednesday, January the 21st.
The Israeli businessman. Not the Israeli businessman. Look, it is an Israeli business. Operation Mocking Pastor is an Israeli business, so I respect that. That's straightforward and it's honest. And so I hope you guys could go, and it's going to be riveting. Maybe somebody could ask him a question about why he's trying to rehabilitate people that went to prison for harming children. Might be more relevant than me saying that, mass murdering Palestinians is wrong. I feel like that's more relevant, but maybe it's not. Because anti-Semitism is now noticing. Right? Noticing what we're doing down in Argentina, noticing what we're doing over in Gaza and not getting into line and letting us get away with it. So it should be riveting. Again, don't know how people are attending these churches. other than thinking of it as stand-up comedy, because that is a good reason. We all need to laugh. We all need to let loose. It's been, last year was a tough year. And if you're looking for comedy, Rob McCoy and the Cornerstone Church can provide that. So thank you guys. Also, and just the topic of shamelessness. I don't know if we pulled this, Skylar. If not, it's cool because I can bump it to tomorrow. Did we see the Fox News thing? Do you have that? Like, they were basically promoting that Israel is giving Charlie an award for fighting anti-Semitism, like the country of Israel. Yeah, do you want to pull that up? This is just, it's so shameless. Israel will honor the late Charlie Kirk with an award for opposing anti-Semitism. They're not going to stop. They're like, this ghost belongs to us. This belongs to us. And it just makes you feel like they killed him. I don't know. They're just trying and doing too much. And you guys are going to love the fact that I have another text message that I'm going to reveal to you.
Oh, yeah, on the military base.
Another, I would say, laced threat from one of his donors. I've got a lot more information coming because apparently, hilariously, Turning Point USA purged a bunch of their employees that they thought were giving me information, and they weren't. And so now they're giving me information. So it's going to be an amazing week. Tomorrow, though, we are going to have a joint show. My guest is going to be Baron Coleman. You guys have been asking for us to get together. Mm-hmm. And we are, because we both received a tip that is just, it's mind-blowing, actually. And I was like, look, you should just come on the show on Tuesday. Let's sit down and go through this and unpack it, because I think people are just going to go, what is going on in America? What is going on in the world? And yeah. Anyways, we're going to have a very exciting show. Let's take a brief break and throw it to some sponsors.
I got to go because I got to be
I think it's pretty obvious that there is a war on truth right now.
Yeah, it is a war on truth. In 4 minutes. Hold on, let me see. Yeah. Hold on. Let's go.
My own quote. Yes, that's why I fight. And that's why I think everyone should fight. And forth onto this channel as well. And this is the top comment from 3021. This person wrote, my children will inherit the America that I fight for, or the America that I remain silent about. I'm glad that I butchered my own quote. Yes, that's why I fight. And that's why I think everyone should fight and grow louder in saying the truth. I believe that. I just look at our kids and I think we're going to be cowards and they're going to inherit it. And you can just feel like Satan just wrapping his tail around the world, and they're close, but you can now also feel daylight is getting through and a lot of people are waking up. All right, what do you guys have for me in today's comments? Let's see what is on your mind. Moderator Marzi writes, it's MLK Day. Let's not forget the deep state tried to get him to self-delete after they stalked him for years and then tried to blackmail him. Maybe that's why they want us to accept a Charlie Kirk Day and forget about it after they harassed Charlie. That is the way of the deep state. That's why I said when they put up that Charlie Kirk Day, I was like, aw, they definitely killed him. All right, I mean, come on. When they give you a day, it means we stalked you, we harassed you, we tried to destroy you and threaten you, and then we just found it easier to murder you. But we have we're guilty about that, so we're just gonna, they invited Kash Patel. It was wild. It was really wild. Dan Flood was there too. He was still providing security, which I thought was weird. Thought that was weird. Not gonna lie. Becca writes, Charlie believed in God and free speech, but not Erika. She's panicking. We see through your lies, Erika. We see right through you. I think that she is not leading that organization in a direction that Charlie Kirk would have led it. There, I will say that. The idea of a free speech organization, Charlie dying under a tent saying, I will debate you and your ideas, I will prove you wrong or you can prove me wrong. And now we've got legal letters going out to YouTubers like, you're wrong, you're just wrong, and I'm going to sue you. Or I'm not going to sue you, but I'm going to scare you. And then maybe I'll sue you.
Okay, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I gotta go.
In Converse, Texas, and New Braunfels, Texas. Well, it's definitely expanding rapidly the past couple of years. Yeah, I believe that there is some military stuff. One person said to me that it was an intel base. I couldn't find that myself. Maybe it's so good of an intel base that I didn't have enough intel on the intel base. That's a comment from our website. Jenny, I love you, writes, I was in the GATE program. We spoke about that. They were big mad when we suggested that the military was working on kids